This week on TGC News, M-LOK reigns supreme, an ND Foregrip, and a rapid fire segment with a bunch of cool new products. Kinetic Development Group doesn't just make parts for the tactical or military guy. They make parts for everyone, whether you're a hunter, a competition shooter, or a standard supporter of the second, they have something for you. Kinetic Development Group. When you get it, it clicks. To learn more, go to conducted-at-nswc-crane. Welcome back to TGC News, the only gun news show that covers things you actually care about. My name is John Patton. We're going to start this week's show off by irritating a bunch of you viewers. It is now proven that Keymod is a subpar mounting system. Oh, this is going to be great. I can hear the groans from here. Last week at the NDIA Armaments Conference, a company some of you might be familiar with, most well known as Crane, that specializes in testing of these sorts, presented a briefing on their findings on M-LOK versus Keymod. The purpose of the test was to determine which of the two systems was superior in regards to repeatability, endurance, rough handling, drop testing, and failure load tests. They weren't out to simulate direct battle conditions, but more so out to have a direct comparison between the two systems. In order to do the testing properly, they grabbed multiple rails from 3 different companies: Seekins Precision, Midwest Industries, and Aero Precision as well. It's a pretty good cross-section of some of the most popular rails out there. So what did they find? Well, in the repeatability test, which was measured in MOA, they found that Keymod averaged a 4.9 MOA shift, whereas M-LOK averaged a 1.3 MOA shift, with the maximum shift on Keymod coming in at 14.6 MOA and the M-LOK at 6.6 MOA. Already not looking good for Keymod. Moving on, endurance testing was good for both, with neither of the systems coming loose during normal firing, and the same results were found for the rough handling test. Now, the drop test. Oh boy, the drop test. So they mounted an accessory rail on the forwardmost position at the 9 o'clock side and dropped it from 5 feet onto a steel plate from 6 different orientation. Let's start with the M-LOK on this one. There were some scrape marks on the rail itself. The accessory rail remained attached and only moved slightly rearward. And the Keymod attachment did not fare so well. It came completely off the rail, broke the center out between the 2 points of attachment, and kind of just gave up. Finally, the failure load testing. They attempted to pull the accessory from the rail at a 90-degree off-axis position and found that the M-LOK system, on average, held 215% higher sustained loads and up to 220% higher maximum load than the Keymod system did. Good Lord! If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about which one is better, I'm not sure what will. Of course, there are tons of other companies and rails on the market, but I think this is pretty definitive as far as the actual mounting systems go. Keymod, aka backwards Home Depot shelving, sucks. And hey, if you think they got it wrong, please go do your own testing and prove them wrong. I'd be happy to tell the viewers what you found. If you guys want the full breakdown on the testing, there's a great article posted over on soldiersystems.net. I want to know how many of you in the audience knew that this would actually be the case before we got to the end. Let me know down in the comments. And in You Can't Fix Stupid news, a company called Defensive Tactics Institute has come out with a product they're calling the Foregrip. So what is it? Well, it's a couple of pieces of sheet metals and screws that allow you to attach a pistol to the Picatinny rail of a rifle. In their promo videos that all seem to be filmed on a potato, they show it off as a magical replacement for fixing a malfunction in your rifle or even reloading the rifle, claiming that it's faster to shoot a gun that you aren't actually aiming. They also show that you could use it as a foregrip with a bang. So what's the ETA on some jackwagon gripping this thing wrong and sending rounds downrange? I mean, come on here. This is not a good idea. This is not innovative. It's dangerous. There's no way to properly aim this gun. There's no way to efficiently reload the pistol when it goes dry. And you're adding the weight of a grenade launcher, but you're not getting any of that potential use. I seriously can't imagine a situation where this would be useful, unless I wanted to show off the dumbest product you could possibly put on a gun. Maybe besides that holster on the side. That's pretty stupid too. And Here's the kicker. You might guess that this thing is like 50, 60 bucks, right? Nope, it's $289. $289, almost $300, and you could own one of the worst ideas in firearms industry history. And from a supposed training company. What do you guys think of this thing? Would you spend $300 on a Picatinny mount for your freaking pistol? What a joke. And now it's time for some rapid-fire product news. First up, Nordic Components released a new rail system they're calling the NCT4 suppressor shield. Instead of having to take your entire rail system off, if you want to bury your suppressor down inside of it, you can just take off the front portion and actually have the suppressor accessible. It's a pretty neat idea for those with SBRs and pistols that want a little bit more rail to hold onto and have that kind of recessed look with the can. The front section just drops around the can with its 1.85 inch internal diameter and then twists and locks into place. It's a pretty nifty idea if you ask me, and it's currently on pre-order for the slightly steep $350. Next up, Butler Creek, who is best known for their scope covers and 10/22 magazines, just released a couple really smart magazine loaders for AR-15s and AK-47 platforms. You can use them in 3 different configurations. The single round loading, where you just drop a round in the front and push down. The multi-round loading, where you can fold up the built-in stripper clip kind of thing and shove rounds down, and then an actual way to load with stripper clips. Honestly, I haven't seen a loader that can multitask like this for the MSRP of this one, which is about 30 bucks. And lastly, a company called M-LOK, M-LOK has a product called Solo Blast. Essentially, it's a 3D hard cast of a wound channel created by various rounds. They do them in single or multiple round boards for anywhere from 69 bucks for a 3-pack of the singles to $229 for the multi-shot board. It's a neat idea and kind of falls into the same category as my friends at Ballistic Concepts that do the kind of exploded bullet displays. But the downfall I see with these molds is that they're taken from shots into clay. Clay can show us a lot of things, but is certainly not the best option for showing a true temporary wound channel. Either way, I think it's pretty cool, and I may end up grabbing a couple of these for my office. Tack Pack offers some of the highest quality tactical and EDC gear in a monthly package shipped right to your door. They aren't focused on sending you a bunch of crap. They want to make sure that you get gear you will actually use, featuring things like knives, tourniquets, multi-tools, AR-15 parts, and survival gear. Tack Pack is bound to have gear that you're going to love. And we're switching it up again, so if you order right now, you can get either a free knife or a free multi-tool with the code TGC Knife or TGC Tool at tackpack.com. And for those of you that watched the TGC panel, you might remember a question about promoting other channels that people may not know to our audience. I think this is an awesome idea, so I wanted to start off our Guntuber of the Week segment with someone that I know makes fantastic content. The channel is called Last Line of Defense, and it's hosted by a guy named Mike. He covers everything from clothing to guns and mods, and even how to set up your vehicle for maximum gunnership. The point is, Mike is a good dude, and I enjoy the content quite a bit. You guys know that I am a stickler for solid production value, and Last Line of Defense definitely falls into that category. Here is a quick clip. We will be sure to put a link down in the description or somewhere on the screen if you're watching on YouTube so that you can go subscribe to Mike's channel. Now, if you guys know of a channel that's doing some awesome stuff and could use some promotion, you can post that in the comments, or you can send me a link via the Friendly Fire page on theguncollective.com. I'm really interested to see if you guys like this concept or not. And unfortunately, that is it for this week's show, guys. You know what to do if you enjoyed the episode. Hit that like button and share it around with your friends. That does actually help. Of course, if you haven't yet, get subscribed. You won't want to miss a single week of the show. And as always, thank you all for watching. We'll see you soon. The shirts worn in today's episode of TGC News were provided by Patriot Patch Company.
Click the link in the description to learn more.